What's up, wrestling fans? Let's talk about SmackDown. Now, it's going to be in kind of a way I enjoyed it a little bit last night, and I'll tell you why. There was a lot of it still that I didn't like, but there was and obviously I fell asleep last night. So just everybody, I've almost never missed too many. I don't know how many SmackDowns I've ever missed doing a review of in the last 5 years, but I'm pretty sure it's like 3 or 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that. And so I wasn't happy that I missed it, but I was insanely not happy last night. I was very angry and like just depressed and tired. And then while watching it, I fell asleep. So anyway, I woke up this morning feeling amazing, and that's probably because I needed sleep, I suppose. Maybe that's why I just passed out. But there's just a lot of stuff going on, and it was awful. And whatever. But so let's talk about SmackDown. SmackDown starts with, start talking about Braun Strowman, everything he did. Shane McMahon going through the table and everything last week. Live at the Bell Center in Montreal, always a great place. But we're live. Tom Phillips welcomes Corey and Graves. They all do their opening monologue and all that other stuff. We go to the ring, and there's The Miz wearing what... I don't know what the hell The Miz was wearing last night. I thought it was pretty cool. He looked kind of like a theatrical, like a samurai who's going to a dinner party. I don't know what the hell Miz was wearing. So they do this whole Miz TV segment, which I kind of was tuning out on, to be honest. I didn't quite catch all of it. Didn't really love it or anything. Really just setting up this match, The Miz and Shelton Benjamin versus Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, which... those are always throwaway matches to me, and I'm so not interested in those. So at that point, I'm thinking, well, this is going to be a terrible SmackDown probably. So they have an okay little tag team match, as expected. I thought, I really actually wasn't sure which route they'd go, but Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton get the win nonetheless. And so far, I'm fairly tired at this point. That's probably why, about when I fell asleep, after I saw Lana and Rusev, actually. So now Lana basically suggesting that Rusev needs to dump Aiden English, which is weird because people are happy, I think, that Lana's back with Rusev if that's going to happen. But the whole reason, Rusev Day, was emphasized was because of Aiden English. So you hear people actually kind of groan at that in the crowd. Almost like, they cheered Lana, but then they groaned at the idea of Aiden English being gone from the group. So that's what I'm wondering with you guys today. Is this where Rusev Day finally dies? Because typically, remember what WWE does is when something takes off like a Rusev Day or this chant or that chant, typically they sort of acknowledge it briefly, then sabotage it. Or just let it go away. Like Rusev will wear Rusev Day now going forward all the time to sell the t-shirt, but nobody really will say Rusev Day anymore. And if that's the MO, that's what normally happens. So that's what we could see happen here with Rusev. But I think Rusev and Lana together are like a super couple. Like they're really popular. They're really going to be good. They should have never been split up, in my opinion. But I also think that Aiden English was doing a pretty good job with them. So don't exactly know what's going on there. What do you guys think about that? I'm going to be asking you guys several questions in the next few minutes, and guys, feel free to respond to everything in the comments down below. So that's the first thing is, do you think Aiden English should be gone? Do you think Lana should be in? Just on my phone over. Do you think they should all just be in the group, or do you think it's not going to matter because Rusev's going to be done anyway? Big Cass comes out and again cuts a pretty decent promo. He's still a little bit off to me, a little bit greenish, but way improved compared to what he used to be, I think. And he was always pretty decent, but he's just gonna, like, if he had the look of Drew Galloway, it would be like, wow, this guy's a dick, But he did a pretty good job and cut a pretty decent promo. And then to call Daniel Bryan out, and then of course out comes a small person, which I thought that was funny. Out comes I don't know what you say, midget. I don't know. Out comes Mini-Me. Cass says Bryan looks a bit taller tonight. That was kind of funny. That whole thing was kind of funny. Fans boo him. He boots the little Bryan. Fans are chanting asshole. Referees come out to get Cass away from the little guy. I mean, I like that. That was pretty good. The fans are booing in Montreal. The Montreal fans were great. AJ Styles in the ring with the belt was pretty good. Samoa Joe coming out, he got a little bit of a pop, you know. Then Joe turned around when Shinsuke, it seemed like Shinsuke was coming out. And then right away you knew, oh, Shinsuke's coming from behind AJ. I think they made it a little too obvious. I think it would have been better if Joe turned around. He was like, "Oh, come on!" Like, and then immediately they panned back to the ring, and Shinsuke low blowed AJ Styles. One of the shames in this, because it was a pretty good scene, a pretty good sequence, pretty good stuff. Shinsuke just acting bizarre after it happened. But one of the things, unfortunately, that they did was they missed the shot. They were still zoomed in on Joe, and you heard everybody go, "Oh!" and then they quickly panned, and you could see Shinsuke's arm was still up. But it was like, oh my God, I'm telling you, Bret Hart hates these low blows. But, and I actually don't really necessarily love them either, but I think it's part of Shinsuke's sort of like gimmick to like hit the guy and then be like, like leave it there all weird. Like, I think that's a different thing. But it is a shame that they weren't able to get the shot, that they weren't able to pan and see Shinsuke about to do it and then him do it. You know, I just feel like they should have cut about 3 seconds earlier from Samoa Joe, because first of all, they gave it right away. But, whatever. It was a good... I thought that was a good scene. I thought Cass's segment was good. I thought that scene was good. The New Day and Sheamus and Cesaro, I just really didn't care for. I missed the match for the most part. I guess it was okay little match. Their sequence in the back was... all right, I thought their sequence in the back was terrible, except... Dude... When Big E Langston started rubbing fucking oil on his tits, I started fucking losing my mind. The crowd was kind of laughing too, but I'm telling you, man, when Big E when they all had baby oil and they were just rubbing their tits with baby oil, it was fucking bizarre. Like, and I fucking loved it though. Like what are they doing with baby oil? What are they going to do with baby oil? And then they start rubbing themselves. And, you know, Big E's like rubbing himself like he's got breasts. When he does. But, I mean, he's rubbing himself. I don't know, dude. Just that was really funny to me. The women had a very awkward backstage scene. Like with Becky Lynch and Asuka and Charlotte had a horrifying, cringe-inducing backstage scene. It was fucking terrible. Paige and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville had a much better one compared to theirs. But, man, yeah, they had just a fucking atrocious backstage segment. Now, the main event, Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch versus Carmella, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce. I liked the main event. They did a good job. Wasn't the best thing ever. The crowd made it better, but they did a good job. I really love Peyton Royce in the ring. I just love how she sells. Peyton Royce is one of the best female sellers. Like, she just appears to be so agile and just really... I just love the way she sells. I don't know. I said it when she was in NXT for years, and now I'm saying it now. I thought it was a good match, like a 7 out of 10 match. Asuka, Charlotte, Flair, and Becky win. You know, Charlotte even pulled out the moonsault for the SmackDown main event on the outside. A little botch here or there by Becky and a couple other people, but it was a pretty good match, and I would say SmackDown to me was decent last night. Decent, but still not very good, but in a way decent, because we got some segments that were good, that we can see what's going to happen, next week or leading into Backlash. They said Daniel Bryan couldn't compete because of the slaps to his chest or whatever. He could get an infection. I don't know if that was a storyline so that Cass could come out and crap on him without him being there. Or some other excuse, I don't know. I found that to be awkward, but I'm not sure what the idea there was. Maybe you guys would know. Leave that in the comments down below if you think you know, or if there's a news story out there and you do know, and maybe I don't know yet, because I am just waking up, guys. I've checked nothing. I've checked absolutely nothing. I've just woken up and realized I wanted to get the SmackDown review out of the way. So there you have it. I might have missed a few things, but overall, I thought SmackDown was better than usual. I don't remember what I gave Raw last week or yesterday. It was just the other day, but I still don't remember what I gave Raw. This was better. SmackDown was better than Raw. For the simple fact that the main event was somewhat exciting. Big E rubbed his nipples and his tits with baby oil. Big Cass cut a decent sort of promo. They ripped off many previous times in wrestling history where someone brings out a small person to make fun of somebody. DX did it. Many people have done it, actually. I thought that was a pretty good sequence. And then, of course, AJ and Samoa Joe and Shinsuke kind of furthering their story. But it didn't feel like, it felt pretty good, but it didn't feel like a go-home show, right? Because Backlash is this Sunday, right? It didn't really feel like it was a go-home show. It just felt kind of like they were furthering storylines. And I haven't looked at the Backlash card yet, and maybe some of these matches aren't on the Backlash card, and I'm just not aware of it. It could be possible. I'm a little bit out of it. So what I will say is, my opinion is subject to change a bit, but I think overall I might give this SmackDown a 6. I don't remember if what I gave Raw last night exactly. But I think I'd like to give SmackDown a 6, which is probably high. It's probably too high of a score. And maybe I need to go rewatch it, because I've watched it now over 2 different days, last night and today, and also and split it all up. And maybe it was way worse than I'm remembering. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. Give me your SmackDown review down below. I think 6 is high, though. But I'm worried I gave Raw a decent... What did I give Raw last night? A 4? I don't know. I would say this is 1 point higher than Raw. So if Raw was a 4 last night, this is a 5. If Raw was a 3, this is a 4. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Leave it down below. I want to thank all the patrons, guys, who make the show possible. The reason why I'm able to do shows on YouTube are, of course, of the live donations, the support there. The ad revenue is almost all gone. So if you guys enjoy these shows, please make sure you become a patron. Not only can you become a patron and keep the show going, but when you become a patron, you also get about 6 to 8 bonus hours a week of content. And speaking of that, I've got to go record Morning Madness for everybody as well. So I'm going to be doing that right now. But think about becoming a patron if you guys want to help support my channel and the shows. Obviously a stressful time right now, but we're good. There's patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Download the app. And we will be live tonight for Out of Nowhere. Out of Nowhere will be live tonight. And it will be live. We're going to do it from Corrupted's YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel. So monetization still has not been enabled on my JCS Gaming channel, despite hitting all the numbers. So make sure you come over to youtube.com/corruptedpodcast tonight for Out of Nowhere, live at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. And we'll talk about everything wrestling and everything going on and Backlash and all kinds of stuff. See you guys tonight. Thanks for listening. And again, sorry I did not do the review last night. It was a rarity, but it was a combination of being completely tired, burnt out, and a mental case. I am a mental case. I was very depressed about many things. Is anybody trying to look at houses right now? Because take a look at this. I tweeted this out the other day. So like 7 years ago when I went to buy a house, I couldn't because my credit score was garbage, even though I had the money. And then years later I lost the money, but my credit score went up, but we didn't have the money. Then years ago I went to buy a house and they said no because my job I didn't make enough money. And that happened a couple times. Then I did make enough money at my job and they said, "Okay, you can buy a house but for $170,000." But there was nothing around for $170,000 that you could buy. And then I lost that job a year ago. And then I said, "Well, how can I ever buy a house now because I'm self-employed?" And they said, "Well, you can buy a house if you're self-employed, but you need to have 2 years of that history in taxes." And I just hit that mark yesterday, or this month. So we've been looking at what we can do because, it's cheaper usually to buy a house than to rent. So the bottom line is, look at this. Last year, mortgage rates were at 3.57 at this time. 3.57, and they were even lower before when I went to buy houses, which meant that a house for like $200,000 would be like $1,300, $1,400 a month, right? That's affordable for me, right? For many people with like a decent enough job, $1,300 to $1,400 a month. That's good. But now that same house will cost you $1,800 a month because look at this. Mortgage rates are on the rise. So go figure. Every single time I'm able to get a house or think about trying to get something, something bad happens. And in this case, mortgage rates have skyrocketed. So if I had just bought a house last year, it could have been $1,400 to $1,300 a month. But now if I buy one, it's $1,700 to $1,800 a month, which is almost not possible. So now you're back down to trying to buy a $170,000 house, which they don't exist, as we know. So I just want to say to everybody out there, fuck hope. Fuck hope. See you guys tonight for Out of Nowhere.